That is one of some 800,000 DACA recipients speaking out against rescinding the program. Protests like this one in downtown Fresno playing out all across the country this week, and the next steps for all of those recipients are in limbo at this point. Joining us this morning is political analyst and new editor-at-large for the Central Valley Observer, Jim Verros. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're happy to have you. Obviously, this has become a big issue this week. You're saying this is a ploy, though?
I think it absolutely is a ploy. This is an issue that both parties get to make a lot of money on, especially during election time. Republicans get to say, hey, if you put us in office, we're going to keep jobs in America for Americans. And the Democrats get to say, if you put us in office, we're going to protect the poor and we're going to protect the undocumented workers. Just put us in office. And no one gets to hold either party accountable because the people that are discussing can't vote. So this issue could be resolved in 6 months. It could be resolved in 6 weeks. It's that, do both parties want it resolved? And I think it's going to take longer than 6 months, and I think there'll be an extension, just like the debt ceiling. Oh my gosh, if we don't get this passed, the whole world's going to crack and crumble. Except, let's do another 6-month extension. So I don't see this getting resolved anytime soon.
Right. Well, this program has been implemented for some time now, but how easy is it to change that policy?
Well, I think you have a lot of precedent already there over the past. Oh, geez, a couple generations. My grandparents came over on the Marshall Plan, and there was a process that you came over to the United States. It was you had to have a job, you had to have a sponsor, and you had to tell the government where you were for a number of years. So there is precedent there. Is it a visa program? Is it a process? There could be some sort of mechanism put in place. It's just that the government would have to agree upon it.
We've seen a lot of reaction this week from UC Merced and Fresno State and students there. There's about 1,200 at Fresno State, 600 at UC Merced who are undocumented per the chancellor and president. And we've seen a lot of fear coming out. Are these people going to be deported? Is that the case?
I feel really, really bad for these kids that, every time there's a new administration, they're told something else. When President Obama was there, it was, hey, sign here and you're going to be okay. Then Trump gets in office and it's like, oh, you signed here, we know where you are. Oh my gosh, no, I'm really scared. So that pendulum is swinging harder and harder to both sides. It seems like every election. So I don't think they're going to be deported. But I can see how fear is creeping in because there's such instability amongst the lawmakers, and that's tough, especially when you're an adolescent. You're just a kid in college. All you're trying to do is go to class and make yourself better. So this is the last thing that we want our students thinking about: is are they going to be rounded up and sent somewhere that they don't know anything about because they've been here most of their lives?
Jim, really quickly. So a couple days ago, we saw President Trump back Democratic plans to raise the debt ceiling in terms of that plan and the plan for the Hurricane Harvey relief. And that's supposed to go, those three measures are supposed to go to the president's desk this afternoon. They're expecting a final House vote to get those measures to him. What's going on with that?
I think President Trump is having a great deal of fun sort of messing with the Republicans right now because the Republicans didn't go along with what he wanted with the Affordable Care Act, with repealing Obamacare. And I think he's kind of holding their feet to the fire of how nasty do you really want to get with me? And I think that he's going to side with the Democrats on a number of things right now. And it's going to be funny to watch, speaking of DACA, as that 6-month window sort of comes around. Is he going to back with Democrats? It's going to be fun. This is the first time that we've seen, politically, it's going to be fun to see a president who really doesn't care about partisanship, and he wants what he wants, and he's going to see what he can do to get it done.
He has a lot on the table right now.
I think he likes having a lot on the table. I think if there wasn't a lot going on, he would be bored out of his mind. So I think he enjoys the show. I think of all the presidents that we've had in our generation, this is the one guy who likes having heat on him. I think he enjoys it. I think he really does.
Well, speaking of DACA, do you feel that he's kind of cooling off right now?
I think that he knows that there are other things coming down the line right now. The hurricanes, you've got the debt ceiling, you've got a number of other things. They still haven't fixed ACA. So I think you've got a lot of things that are going to be coming to fruition at the end of the year into first quarter of 2018. And I think he knows the war or the battle is just starting.
All right, Jim Verros.
And don't forget North Korea.
Yes, always.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining
Anytime.
us. Great to see you.
And, sure. Yeah, and before we go, cheers and Opa.
Opa. Yeah, I have no mug, no nothing.
We got to get you one.
Sure.
Drink Fest was awesome.
Thanks.
Jim, thank you. We will be right back.